Hello, and welcome to Lumpia and Latkes. I'm Jay, a Filipino American.
And I'm Mitch, an American Jew. We are friends
and former co-workers.
We riff all day at work and decided to create this podcast for extended conversations on anything that intrigues us.
We won't always get it right, but we'll do what we can. Thanks for joining us. This episode, Thoughts on Thoughts. That's right, we're talking about that hoe over there. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about those thoughts. What do you think about thoughts, man? There's a lot of thoughts out there ever since the advent of social media. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about thoughts. That's a different conversation. That's for Lumpia and Lucky's After Dark. No, we're talking about, the very fact that we can think. That's what, I think, therefore I am. The whole...
Right.
Whole interesting thing about the fact that we're able to process information and be able to store it, and it's really a crazy thing when you think about it. It's quite interesting the way that the human mind works. So, well, let's talk about thoughts first in general, right? So,
yes, okay.
Thoughts, the way that we think, the way that we store memories. It's all about chemical reactions in the brain. And it's, people say it's about the neurotransmitters that are going across your synapses in your brain. It's like down to like almost molecular level, but it's like these little tiny, they're called synapses. So,
yes.
According to Google and the AI, memories are stored in not in a single location in the brain, but are distributed across multiple interconnected regions. So the hippocampus, neocortex, and amygdala, and the basal ganglia, and the cerebellum. I remember cerebellum. She was the lady from Powerpuff Girls. Yeah,
Aww.
You never saw her face. Yeah,
nope,
Miss
never saw
Cerebellum.
Her face. That's right.
Yeah, that's a thing. But no, different parts of the brain, right? I mean,
right.
Yeah, they're there for a reason. They store your information. I mean, we're not scientists, but just at the most base level, you have different areas store different memories.
That's right.
And then the way that they're actually stored in the brain has been an interesting thing, because I've been trying to do research about how exactly, because we know where they're stored. Like, clearly they're stored in the brain, but
right.
how?
In your synapses, they're stored in your synapses.
Exactly. But even at this level, where Google says through changes in the strength and structure of connections between neurons, known as synapses, but it's called synaptic plasticity. Even that, it's like that's a very basic level of this stuff, but
right.
I did a lot of searching, and all these different science websites like science.org and different universities. No one can seem to agree exactly how this process works, and people are still trying to find out.
They all have their own slightly different take, if you will.
Slightly different take.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Interesting.
At the most base level, it is something to do with synapses, but as far as like how we actually retain information, like we're different than computers in that computers you can you can obviously you can tell where it's supposed to be. Like you have your non-volatile read and access read access memory, right? Yeah, that's your hard memory that's going to be stored there, but it's not that simple for humans and human brains.
No, it's not.
People are trying to find out, and they're still doing research, and I don't know if we'll ever know, because it's such a complex thing to think about how we think and how we store memories.
Right. I mean, well, let's face it, man. We don't use but a small percentage of our brain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they said for, it's what is it, that one movie where it said, we only use like, 1%, 99% is not used. I mean, apparently that's false, according to like Snopes and whatever. But either way. So let's go past that, just the basic part of like actual chemical reactions. Like we're not adept enough to know, to even like really explain how all that works. But let's talk about actual thoughts, right? So, like the first thing I think about with thoughts is like that inner voice, that voice in your head, right?
Yeah.
This is funny because I saw this on TikTok where, it's like somebody who asked like, hey, we know how we think, how people who have like, who are considered normal and average, how they think, and like you hear a voice in your head and it's pretty clear, and it's like, all right, here's how it goes. How does it work for deaf people? And then an actual deaf person responded and said, oh, I think much in the same way, because that person could actually still talk because even though you're deaf, you
Right.
can still have that voice. But he says,
You still have words.
yeah, he said, I just think with a deaf person's voice. Like, I get that same thing, but I don't get a clear voice. I get a voice of a person who has that kind of, the that speech pattern that a deaf person
Sure.
would have. And it's like, that's something I never really thought about. I mean, it makes sense. I mean,
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely.
Because if you don't, I mean, that's the other thing too. Is like how these people, how anyone who, deaf people or people that, people who don't know, like it's interesting to think about like how people think in their minds because, for an average person, it's like, oh, clearly you're thinking like, a man's voice, a woman's voice, whatever, and it's very clear, and it's like, all right, this is what it is. But then, some people don't have that frame of reference. It's all about the frame of reference that's interesting for that.
Yes. Just like one of the phrases that I used to use all the time to some people. It says, you're just jealous because you don't hear the voices in your head talking to you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. That's very true.
Yep.
And then another part of the voice in your head is like, sometimes I'll have you randomly recall some sort of memory. You'll just be doing something completely unrelated, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I remember that time that I did this thing and I peed my pants.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
Like why did all of a sudden did that? Yeah. Like you wake up at like 2 a.m. You're like, oh man, I remember that time. Yeah, when I was in 10th grade and I did this, and the girl I had a crush on, saw me do this. Like, oh man, it's like, it's like, why am I remembering that all of a sudden? It's like that's a weird thing. I don't understand why the brain does that to us.
Absolutely, man. And sometimes your brain just goes in a weird direction, man, and you're just all of a sudden you're like, why did I just think about that? Or there's something that you're doing and you hadn't done it in forever, and poof, all of a sudden it brings up, some memories of something else,
Yeah,
and it just
some of your strongest memories are, to do with like, of course, like you said, actions, smell, speech.
Yep.
I mean, if someone says a certain thing to you, then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, that reminds me of the time I did this. How many times do you recall stories when someone else is talking? It's like, yeah, that's how it goes. And then if you smell like a certain brand of popcorn, you're like, I remember the time I went to the movie theater and I heard, I watched this movie with my friends and we all sat in the back and we were throwing popcorn at the ushers. I don't know.
Yep. Can you remember your very first memory, Jay?
No.
You can't remember your very first
memory? My very first memory? I mean, like when I came out of the womb?
No, not when you come out of the womb. What's your very first memory that you can think of?
You mean the earliest memory I can remember?
Yeah, the earliest memory that you can think of.
Oh, honestly, I have a pretty bad memory. I think the earliest memory I can remember is being in elementary school. Okay. Must have been, I don't know, first grade. That's how I can't remember that much farther back. So yeah, first grade in elementary school, and it was this girl that was I didn't know how to tie my shoes at the time, but she did. She tied my shoes for me on like the rug that we all got on for like story time.
Right.
And she was tying my shoes, and that's the earliest memory I remember.
Okay,
I don't remember anything else really.
That's cool. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, how about you?
That's great. My first memory was walking down the hallway of my house. My parents were shortly behind me, and I walked down the hallway into the main foyer area and then made a sharp U-turn from the foyer area into the den, to the back door, and out to the sandbox.
How old were you?
Yep. I was probably 4 or 5 at the time.
Okay. Yeah, it seems to be a sweet spot, like 5 years old, where people kind of remember their stuff. Anything earlier, I guess it's like too early and your brain's still forming, so it just kind of pushes that out. It's like, you don't need to remember this.
Right. I mean, I for some reason, I seem to recall some, interesting stories that I just happen to remember from being a kid and all that kind of stuff. And, I'll recall them to my mom or my dad or my sisters or whatever it is. And they're like, I don't remember that. How do you still remember those things? And I'm just like, I just do. I just remember those things happening. I remember the situations, I remember where we were at the time, and what was going on. I could paint a picture for you, a mental picture of it most of the time. And it was something that I was just really, really good at. And I think it was the ADHD that was really kicking in. I mean, like for myself, I had Star Wars: A New Hope memorized when I was 5 years old.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay. I remember that kind of stuff. And to this day, I could probably still recite it.
Okay.
from start to finish. Probably. I might get a few words here and there wrong, but I'm going to give you the general gist of it all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that's the series, the Big Bang Theory series. When Sheldon Cooper buys Amy Farrah Fowler the complete Star Trek Next Generation series on DVD,
Okay.
and he was like, she was like, I really don't want this. He said, oh, well, I'll just explain it to you right now. And he literally starts to talk about the very first episode of Star Trek Next Generation, which happens to be about Farpoint Station. But that's beside the point because, I've watched it several times myself and
Okay.
it's that good.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things, man. I
Yeah.
happen to have that kind of memory on some things.
Yeah.
But the older I've gotten,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to retain shit anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely there's a tendency to have like information overload. I mean, every day like we're processing new things. I mean it's been said multiple times that we've been going through so much in modern times as far as like
Yeah.
history making events. I mean we got through
Sure.
COVID, we got
Yeah.
through like the Afghanistan war and all this like
Yeah.
lots of
Yeah.
different things, and it's like it's so much information. It's just information overload, and so sometimes
Truly.
you just want to kind of tune out and just not
Yeah.
be in all
Yeah,
that.
man.
But it's
Yeah,
hard
absolutely.
to because your brain is always there. It's always like, oh yeah, you should remember this. You remember this, and then
Yep.
and also the stupid crap. It's like, hey, you remember the quadratic formula? Yeah, x is equal to negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. I'm like, why the fuck do I remember that? I don't know.
I don't even know what you just said, Jay. I'm sorry.
God, I remember that's a memory for me because it was in high school for algebra, right, or like some sort of algebra
Right,
class,
right.
and I think it was AP, like one of the AP classes. And the teacher, she was a cool teacher. Like she would take more of these classes where like, here's how to be more fun and hip with the kids, that kind of thing. And then so she would take classes to be a better teacher. And honestly, it worked because we did all sorts of stuff. We would like dance like line dances and the cha-cha slide in our classroom, which had nothing to do with dance, but it was fun.
Yep.
And then I remember in particular for the quadratic equation, she I think that's what it's called. I might be wrong. I just remember that equation.
Right. No, I get it.
She made up you'd have these little jingles, right? And then she'd be like what is it, jingle bells, and she would say that, and then she would do that to x is equal to negative x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus
Wow.
4ac
Yeah,
all over
yeah,
2a.
yeah, okay.
And
Okay.
that sticks in my mind for some dang reason. I couldn't
Yep.
tell you
I mean,
why.
dude, EGBDF.
Yeah, that's right. Every good boy deserves fudge.
Yeah, or every good
Or-
boy does fine.
Yeah,
That's what
does
I always
fine.
remembered. Yep.
I like fudge.
Or face.
Face, that's right.
F-A-C-E. Yep. Face. Yep.
F-A-C-E.
Yep. And those
Yep.
who don't know, that's all about the treble staff and
Yep.
the treble clef staff.
That's right. The notes,
Yep.
the different notes.
For the notes and the music. Yep. And you know that because you used to sing.
I used to sing, and
Yep.
you
but
also
I
used to do
I
band,
was-
right?
I used to do band.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
So
right.
you remember that kind of stuff,
How
and
it
it's just
goes.
sticks in your brain, man. It's just
Yep.
one of those things.
Yep.
So
I mean,
don't ask me to
there's-
play a note because I can't do it no
No.
more. But
And I
hey,
can't read.
I'm out of breath and a half
And
a
I
note.
can't read sheet music, so that's for sure. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
can't. I couldn't read
can't
sheet
do
music
it.
for a damn either.
Can't
I was
do it.
terrible at it. I was so
But-
bad. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
horrible. But anyways,
But then also, like when you have these random memories, it's like also sometimes you get that deja vu, right? Like all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I remember doing this
Yeah.
at some point. And then sometimes
Right.
never have done it at all. And it's like, why do I remember this? I've never been here, never been to this place. Some people like to say that that's a part of you in your past life where you've been in that exact location. You ever heard of that?
interesting.
Yeah.
Nah, I've heard of that
Yeah.
before, and it's just one of those. It's one of those kind of weird things. I mean, it's just like something just repeats itself, and it's just like, okay, you think you've been here before, or you think that you're going to do this again, or you've done this in
Right.
the past, or you've done this in a past life, or something crazy like that. It's just crazy, dude. It's just one of those things.
Yep, it's weird. And then
I couldn't put my finger on the whole deja vu thing.
No.
I really couldn't. But I mean, it's happened a couple of times in my life, but God, I can't recall those deja vu moments. I
No.
really can't. I
no,
really
I
can't.
mean,
Sometimes it's sometimes it's just when you're with a group of people and you're talking about something to a certain group of people, and then there's that other person that kind of jumps in after the fact and is talking about exactly what everybody else was talking about.
Yeah.
At that moment, it's like whole total deja vu moment because that person might be in a different mindset and not really paying attention to the conversation or distracted in some other way, but still kind of half-ass listening. That happens. So that's a semi deja vu moment.
Yeah, yeah. Deja vu is just another one of those strange things that the mind likes to do weird things. Like especially
That's
when you
true.
lose your train of thought. I mean, how many times have you walked into another room? And you're like, what was I going to do?
Oh, too
Yeah.
many times. Too many
And it's
daggone
like,
times.
why does that happen? It's like, I guess, I mean, some of it can be explained. Like, you get preoccupied by like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. Like, sometimes you have too much on your mind, but like, sometimes you just straight up, you just forget, and you walk into a room, you're like, what was I gonna do? And then you have to do something
Exactly.
else because again, it's that whole being related to
Right.
action, smell, speech, whatever, and you have to like go
Yeah,
back and like
yeah.
retrace your steps, and you're like, oh, that's what I was gonna do.
Right.
Sometimes it
That's
works, sometimes
exactly
it
right.
doesn't.
Yep. Yep. And not to speak badly about this person, but I always thought that Bill Cosby did the best rendition of his episode of what is it 49 I think it was when he did his stand up for 49. I think he had the best whole answer as far as forgetting something. He always said that when you forget something, you stand up and that thought goes from your brain down to your butt
Okay.
because as soon as you walk around, you're like, what the heck did I go? I can't remember this. I don't remember what I'm here for. I know I'm in here for
Yeah.
something, but I can't remember what it is. And you kind of stand there, you kind of look around, you still don't remember what it is. So you go and you sit down, and as soon as you sit down, oh, it shoots right back to your brain. I remember what it is, and then you stand right back up and get back in there. So,
I mean, to that end, I mean, we're talking about how memories are tied to the brain, like,
yep,
in certain cases for men, if they're, aroused or whatever, I mean, the brain goes somewhere else, right? So it's like,
sure,
there's
sure,
that. I mean, sure, that could be a thing. Um,
yeah,
but then let's also talk about one of the other weird things for thoughts is like split
okay.
personality disorder. I mean,
Oh
that's
man,
a crazy one that you can have multiple personalities within one person. It's like
yeah, that
that's
is weird.
weird. And then like sometimes like I don't know if it's it's been portrayed in a bunch of movies. I don't know if it's necessarily true where
Yes,
I mean where you can have one personality do whatever, and then the other personality is like, who's that? What did I do? I don't know. Is
yep,
that
yep. You got some funny
yeah
ones out there like Me, Myself, and
yeah.
Irene, and then you've got some others out there that are just
Yeah.
like horror
Yeah,
thriller
like that movie
stuff. I
Split
mean,
with what's his name?
yep, Split. Yep,
What's his name?
yep.
Who's the actor
I
in
can't
that?
think of
It was
his
a
name.
famous
Oh
guy.
my gosh.
Is it McAvoy? I don't know. Who is it?
Uh,
I don't know. I didn't watch that movie. I didn't watch it. It seemed interesting, but like I didn't watch it.
I think it's on Peacock
Yeah.
right now,
Okay.
man. I think it is. It's on
Okay.
Peacock. James
Yeah,
McAvoy.
McAvoy.
Yep,
That's right. Um.
yep.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. It's like, but then there's also like there's definitely a stigma attached to people that have split personality disorder, where they don't, because they use them in like like that movie as like as
Yeah.
like a horror aspect. It's like, um,
Well, Split's a little bit
yeah,
different, Jay. I've loosely seen
yeah,
Split. I couldn't get
yeah,
behind it, even though I really really
yeah.
wanted to, because all right. So let me backtrack a little bit. I thought Unbreakable was
Okay,
fabulous.
I don't know what that
Okay,
is.
Unbreakable is M Night Shyamalan
Oh, sure.
movie.
Okay,
It had Bruce
sure.
Willis in it. And I thought it was a great movie. Then years and years later, Split
Hmm.
comes out, and I did not watch it really for what it
Hmm.
was worth. I kept missing it,
Yeah,
so I never really got a chance to see it. But it was more of a thriller kind of
yeah,
suspense kind of thing. It was kind of
yeah,
strange in some ways, and it didn't really perk my
yeah.
interest. And then Glass came out
Right,
right after
Glass.
that.
Yeah.
So, and I still haven't seen Glass. I'm really
Hmm.
bad as far as that goes. I have not seen Glass at all. So, it's just okay, my screw up, whatever. At some point, I might watch it, but
Yeah,
I just couldn't get behind Split. But
yeah.
Split, yeah, it's about Split. It's a guy that has multiple
Right.
personalities, but he's also like I don't know, like a villain
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yeah, but it's
So,
like I mean, there can be that aspect, but it's just, I mean, in general, like the way that Hollywood likes to portray anything that's not in the quote unquote the norm, they like to,
Hmm.
make it take it to the extreme and make it something that's not.
Yep.
Where it's like, not everybody has split personality disorder is going to be, a villain or whatever, have that kind of a terrible side to them. Like, like the same thing
Right.
with people when
Right.
they treat people that have like, who have Tourette's in like movies, they use them as like as a comedy point. Where it's like, people who have Tourette's, that's a real serious issue. They don't want them.
That's a very
They
serious
don't
issue.
want to,
Absolutely.
make these random noises. They don't want to curse at random times.
Nope.
They, it's a real affliction, and yet
Yep.
Hollywood,
It is.
takes it lighter. Like, oh, it's funny, ha ha ha. No, I mean, I hate that side of Hollywood. I mean, there's a lot of Hollywood stuff that I
Yeah.
just don't agree with, but that's a different
Sure.
conversation.
Yeah. It's a different conversation for another
it
time.
is.
So back to the track, sir. What else do we got here?
We also have dreams. Dreams are the biggest thing.
Oh wow.
Dreams
Yeah.
and dream analysis.
You got this crazy list
Yeah.
here, man. What's this all about? This is kind of
So,
neat.
I mean, I was just thinking, like, dream analysis is big. I mean, who hasn't, heard about like, well, if you think about this, then that's what this means. In real, what your subconscious is trying to tell you. So, from this website, dreams.co.uk, they have the most common dreams and what they mean, which is pretty interesting. It's a lot of stuff that's in here. So, it's 14 most common dreams.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
go through it.
So teeth falling out. Have you ever had that? I haven't had that.
Nope.
Okay. Being
Nope.
chased. I know I've had
Sorry.
that.
Yes, I sort of kind of did, and I think I relayed to you that
Yeah.
story, the Michael Jackson's Thriller thing. So that was kind of me being
Okay.
chased. So yeah, I have had that dream
All right.
once,
Unable to find a toilet.
maybe twice.
I don't think I've ever been unable to find a
No,
toilet.
no, I don't think I've never, I never pooped my pants.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Being
Mm-mm.
naked. I think I've had that.
No, no, I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever had a dream being naked.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one, anyways.
Yeah.
If I was,
Failing exams. I haven't had failing exams, but I've definitely had plenty where
No.
I've taken exams.
okay, you've had bad dreams of taking an exam. You're not sure. if
Yeah,
you did
it's like,
well on it or
just
not.
the unsure,
Interesting.
unsure feeling of it.
Uh-huh. Yep,
Flying.
yep.
I know you got to have a flying dream. Everybody seems to have a flying dream. No?
No, I can't recall ever flying. No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. And I don't know the next one. Falling. I've
Falling.
never had a dream where I'm falling. I don't think I've ever had a
No.
dream where I'm just
I
constantly
don't think so.
falling.
No, I've never had that either.
Yeah.
Crashing a car. No.
Mm-mm.
I've never had
I can't say I've had a crashing car dream either, man. No.
that. Unused room. It's like, that's a weird one.
What do you mean? What? You're inside. You're inside a room that's just an empty
It's
room.
like an unused room. I don't know. We'll find out when we get into the actual description of it.
Okay.
Running
I don't
late. I don't really think I've had a
Yeah.
running late thing.
Eh.
Snakes. You ever had a dream of snakes?
Maybe.
I don't remember having
Maybe.
snakes. Cheating on a partner. That's I've not had one, so I don't know.
I don't think I've had one. I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Ghosts.
Yes, I've had dreams of ghosts before.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
And hair falling out.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, I don't think I've had. My hair's already falling out. I don't give a
Yeah, that's
shit.
fair. So let's go through. We're not gonna read the whole thing, but teeth falling out. I mean, we're not gonna read the whole paragraph that they have. Teeth falling out, having your teeth crumble into your hands, fall out one by one with just a light tap, or starting to rot. These are reflecting your anxieties about your appearance and how others perceive you. They stem
Yeah, that's
from
kinda
a
weird.
fear of rejection, embarrassment, or feeling unattractive.
Oof,
Yeah,
that's
it can also
crazy.
be about communication.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that makes sense because your teeth
Hmm.
are critical to being able to talk. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So the one from if you're being chased in a dream, it's something causing you fear and anxiety in waking life, and they recommend that you get a better night's sleep to help reduce anxiety and stress to help improve your quality of rest. That's kind of interesting.
One.
That's kind of
Can't
interesting.
find a
Yep.
toilet in your dream. I just feel like you're just.
That's so weird.
I
What is
don't
this all
know.
about?
It's something in your waking life where you may be struggling to express your needs in a certain situation. Huh.
Wow.
You might feel that as you play
Okay.
others first, you are lacking time for personal issues. Okay. That's interesting.
Sure. Why not?
Sure. How about being naked?
Naked in a
Yeah.
dream,
How about
huh?
being naked? Yeah. Go ahead.
In a public place suggests that you're struggling to find yourself or that you feel wrongly accused or exposed. Interesting.
Okay.
No, pass.
It could also
That's
mean that
kinda
you're
weird.
comfortable in your skin and that you understand everyone is different. That's an interesting way to look at it.
Uh-huh. That's a lot of interpretations for being naked. Okay.
Yeah. I remember that show that my dad used to watch, Naked and Afraid. I don't know if they ever felt that way. I don't know. Um, anyway,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to
no.
be in there.
Unprepared for an exam in your dream. Commonly linked to young adults or children who are under stress. Um,
Huh.
let's see. Mirror dream that has nothing to do with anyone else. At least 1 in 5 people will experience an exam dream in their lives. So, also
Interesting.
a
Okay.
reflection of lack of confidence and inability to advance to the next stage in life.
Eh,
Okay.
all right. What about flying in your dream? Dreaming you're being able to fly, it can be interpreted in many ways. A tough time flying in your dream suggests that someone or something is stopping you from moving to the next step in your life. If you're unable to fly, it suggests you might be struggling to meet the high goals you set for yourself. And similarly, being alone and struggling to fly implies that you are lacking confidence within yourself. Well, what about if you are flying?
If you are flying, like,
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about you flying.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, all it says is lack of flying. Everybody's like, no, I can't
yeah,
fly.
tough time
Well, what if you
flying,
are
unable
flying?
to fly, being alone, struggling to. Yeah, it really does not say. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
opposite of what we wanted to hear.
Yeah. I mean, what if you are flying? All right. Well, let's do the opposite. Yeah. Falling in a
Falling.
dream, Jay. What is that?
Falling, being overcome with fear, signifies insecurity and anxiety about a situation. Okay. If you are
Yeah.
happily
No.
pre-falling, suggests you are not afraid of changes and you're ready to embrace the beauty of it. And if it's in the water, apparently you have strong feelings for somebody.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay.
If you crash your vehicle in a dream, um, you may feel that you're off track and need to get back on the road to keep going. Well, yeah, you just got a
Yeah,
car
that's
crash. You
fair.
got to
Yeah.
get go. You got to go again. If you lose control with someone you know driving the car, you might feel you need to get them back on track. The person driving will help you understand who is controlling your
Okay.
direction.
So it's just
Interesting.
loss of
Yep.
direction. Okay. Fair.
Yep. Loss of direction. Yep.
Unused room in a dream. So this is what we didn't understand. So let's read the whole thing on this one.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
learn of a new room in your dream, it denotes new outlooks and abilities that you have realized about yourself. If the room is white,
Oh,
it means you're ready to make a new beginning in your life, like a blank canvas ready to be painted on. Okay, so it's
what if
not
it's black? What if it's blue? What if it's
well. I mean,
purple? Come on. Give me some
this is not a
interpretation, man.
complete list. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I get it.
unused is more like just like a new room. I guess what they're saying. I don't know why they say unused. It's like
Yeah,
it straight
I
up
don't
says
know.
in the next paragraph said like a new room. It's
Yeah,
like okay, a new room.
that's kind of
That's what
weird.
it would be. Anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. What does it mean to be late in a dream? Represents your worry and anxiety about taking a different direction in your waking life.
Hmm. You're
Okay.
unconscious still.
It also may feel that you're running out of time to get something
Yeah.
done. Unconscious telling you that it's never too late to do the things you want in
Okay.
life. Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then snake
Snakes in
dreams.
a dream.
Snakes. Let's see here. Most agreed upon meanings centers around oppression and paralysis, linked to the feeling of being constricted. Okay. More
Huh.
positive
Okay.
meanings include the feeling of change on the horizon. Okay. Yeah, snake venom is transformative, and also snakes can sometimes be, like reptilian and change the colors, right?
The only thing I know, Jay, is I don't want to know a mother effing
On
snakes
my mother,
on a mother
or
effing plane.
the cable edit, these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane, which makes no sense. But anyway, all right. Yeah.
Totally. What if you're cheating? Wow. It could vary. They can include being the one who cheats on your partner or vice versa. Vary on who's being cheated with. Dreams of cheating with a celebrity are common. Dreaming where you're cheating on your partner, consider who you are cheating with and what values they represent. Typically, these dreams don't indicate sexual attraction, but they may have certain qualities that you wish your partner could emulate.
Interesting. So it's a
Interesting.
want for like change of the person that you're with.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right. What about
Ooh, ghosts,
ghosts?
spooky ghosts. Feeling overwhelmed to guilt or the fear of something from your past being resurfaced.
Huh.
If you dream of them attacking
Okay.
you, it's due to being bogged down by responsibility, but can indicate a fear of changing circumstances or a sense of impending doom. Interesting.
Huh. Okay. Well, there was no impending doom when I had a dream of. Well, they weren't ghosts; they were
Oh,
zombies
okay.
that were chasing me. So I guess it's a little
Yeah,
different
it's a
then.
little different. All right.
And last but not least, it's about our hair falling out. Center around feelings of loss. It can be metaphorical, loss of youth, or something more physical. Um, yep. Have anxiety of it could be, possibility of having an expensive item and have anxiety of losing it. Um, Signify a sense of anxiety, so it's worth considering ways to reflect on what may be causing that. And of course, we're not shrinks, so we cannot tell you
No,
how to interpret your
no.
dreams. Go
Go
talk to
talk to
somebody if you
somebody.
really want to
Yes,
interpret your
yes. There are
dreams.
plenty of people that you can talk to and consult. And this is only
Yes.
one reference is from dreams.co.uk.
Yep.
It's one outlet that has information out there. But
That's right.
dream analysis is certainly something that people like to talk about. There are whole books, whole sections in libraries about it, and bookstores.
Right.
Call the void. Now this is the part that's like gets a little
Yeah.
scary.
What is
Call the
this?
void is
Yeah.
when you're doing something and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I could just do that. Usually it's something bad where it's like, okay, I'm driving on the street and oh man, I could,
Uh-huh.
if I could, I could just right now just drive onto the sidewalk and just mow down a whole bunch of people. Call of the void. It's a
Oh.
dangerous
Oh, that's
thing.
what that
Yeah.
is. Oh,
It's
wow.
really
Yeah.
it's a bad place to be. If you start getting a lot of those call to voids, and if you are listening to call to void, get some help. Please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do not listen to
Yeah.
these things. It's a part of human life. Everybody has call to void, but it's just the question remains is like whether or not you're actually listening
Do you? Yeah, exactly. Whether or not you're going to
Yeah.
act on those
calls.
thoughts,
Yeah,
if you
you're going to
will.
heed
Yeah.
the call. Don't.
Yep.
Don't.
Yep. Yep.
There's a
Yep.
lot of bad stuff
Yep.
in call to void. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
then we were talking about
Totally.
this earlier, mental imagery. I mean, some
Yes.
people can legit cannot think of stuff in their brain, like as far as like you tell them what to think of and they just can't do it. Like you say, think of a pink elephant, they're like, I don't know how to do that. Some people just don't have that capability.
Really?
That's a real thing. Or some people just do not have
Wow.
the ability to think visually in their head of something like that. I don't know. It's because
That's
the brain.
interesting. I was unaware
some
of that.
people just can't do it. Straight up, I've seen multiple reports of that kind of stuff with especially on TikTok and whatnot, where people are like, yeah, I just can't do that.
That's
'Cause,
crazy.
it's tied somewhat to like being having the creative forces. Like it's just in the same way that
Sure.
not everybody can sing or hold a tune or be able to play an instrument.
Right.
It's like it's the same thing. It's like not everybody can just think of like some sort of image in their head and be able to read a story and then also visualize it as it goes. So you have it.
But they cannot. But then there's some idiot savants or just very intelligent people of photographic memory people, things like that, that can just sit there and dream off into a world and get something all figured out because they use calculations in their brain
Yeah,
that quickly.
right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Rain Man.
Exactly.
Rain
Rain
Man
Man or Gregory House, if
Yeah,
you
that's right.
will, or oh God, what's that other one? There's been a couple of shows. Brilliant
Brilliant
Minds.
Minds,
That's
yeah.
another good one. Yeah, that's another interesting
Yeah,
one
or
there.
what's the
So-
one with the young doctor, the guy who says he's like a very young guy. It's like almost like the new Doogie Howser, but this dude's like got like a mental issue. Where it's like he had the famous one with like Daniel Day Kim, where he said like I am a surgeon. What's that guy's? You know what I'm talking about?
I
It's an
don't
ABC
remember.
show.
Oh. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
canceled.
that.
It's no
Yeah,
longer.
but that was a big
Yeah,
thing. They had a lot of
yes.
memes from it.
That was a great
right?
series.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of the
Well
name
done
of it
from
though.
that guy.
It was
Very good acting.
it was a C. Was it a CBS
It was
series?
ABC, wasn't it?
Was
I
it
feel like it was ABC
I
because
can't
Daniel
remember.
Day Kim.
I'm all right. Hang on. Is that
Daniel
his
Day
name?
Kim was the Asian surgeon in that one scene, the famous scene where it says, "Doctor blah blah, I am a surgeon. I am a surgeon." I don't know what his name. The Good Doctor.
Good Doctor.
The Good
The
Doctor.
Good Doctor.
Yeah.
Yep.
All of a sudden,
That was an excellent,
Right?
excellent series of
yeah,
mine. Bob.
that was an
Yeah.
interesting thing.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
last thing, very unfortunate. People go through this, and it's still no known cure. Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And also dementia.
Yeah.
It's a
Dementia,
really
yep.
sad thing, and it's not quite known. It's tricky. It's a tricky subject altogether. I feel very
Yeah. It's a
I
sad
feel
subject.
very sad for anybody that has to go through. Like when you have a parent that it's your parent. They've known you all your life, and other people get Alzheimer's too, but usually somebody very old, right? And then you know them all your life, and all of a sudden, like they don't remember who you are, or they have trouble recalling who you are. That hurts. It's real tough.
Yeah. I had a great grandmother that had dementia. I don't really remember her all that well because I was very young. Um, but my mom remembers her fondly and remembers her going downhill, and it tore
Yeah.
her up a bit because her grandmother, she loved her
Yeah.
grandmother,
Of course.
and unfortunately her grandmother could not
Hmm.
reciprocate that love, and at some point just did not even recognize her, and she was just it's very
Yeah.
heartbreaking. It
All you
is.
can
It's
do is
terrible.
just love that person anyway, because it's not their fault. It's definitely it's not their fault.
Yep.
It's not your fault. It's
Nope.
it's just something that goes on in life, and unfortunately, there's no known cure. All we can
Yep.
do is just love that person and continue to love them, because that
Be
still
there.
is the person that has loved you, or that
Hmm.
is part of your family or part of your life, and you need to take care of them now more than ever, because they need your help. So
Yep.
you know,
Absolutely. 100%.
absolutely. But anyway, that's going to bring us to the end of our conversation on thoughts on thoughts. A little sad at the end, but we talked about a bunch of stuff. It's not exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't really meant to be a funny conversation for this one. I mean,
No.
thoughts
No.
are. It's a complex subject, and something that I just wanted to get out there. I'm sure you wanted to get out there too. It's like,
Sure.
the act of thinking, like it's what we say separates us from primitive beasts. But it's like, I mean, who knows? I mean, there's thinking. Such a broad, huge concept. It's hard to know. I don't know.
It
Yeah,
can be.
it really is. Because, like, especially the fact that we still don't know exactly how thinking works. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's crazy. We all think, we all have retained memories, but we don't really know why. We don't know how.
Yep.
Like,
Absolutely.
metaphysically, or how that actually comes out. So,
And to correct myself, sir, you're 100% right. We use more than just
right.
10% of
Yeah.
our brains. We use, according to a couple of different places, we use 100% of our brains, but it's just, they're not all, it doesn't, all the synapses aren't firing at
Yeah.
once, but yes, we
Yeah.
still
It's not
utilize
100%
all.
efficient, but yeah, we
Right.
definitely, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good conversation. I like
Yes,
that one.
sir. Yes, sir.
All
I
right,
liked it.
cool. And when we come back, it'll be time for the coffee
The coffee
table. Sure.
table. One of these days, you're gonna get
No,
it
I
right,
won't,
man.
because the
I promise you.
synapses in my
Okay.
brain are not helping me.
In your
My
brain, in your
I
brain.
can't even
Yes.
talk.
In my brain. That's right.
Yeah. E.T. phone home. No, okay. All
That's
right.
it.
We'll be right back. A coffee table book is designed primarily for display and casual perusal, rather than to be read from cover to cover. These books showcase topics that act as a conversation starter for guests. This is the Google AI overview for what is a coffee table book. Each week we read and discuss such books with or without the coffee. Pull out a chair and take a seat at the coffee table. Good morning. Good morning,
Good
Mitch. How
morning.
are you, man? How you doing?
I'm awake.
You're awake?
I woke up. Mission accomplished.
That's fair. Hey, you know what people say? It's like I say it sometimes. Any day you get up and out of bed, I mean, hey, it's a good day.
That's right. I'm. I'm.
Hmm.
I'm. It's much better because I'm not 6 feet under.
That's right. Exactly. I mean, people seem to get caught up in like, oh, but this happened to me and this happened to me. It's like, you know what? Everybody goes through stuff. The miracle is that you were able to get up at all. Some people don't have that. Some people
Life
just
happens.
yeah.
You just get used to it.
That's right. Life does happen. I mean, obviously, bad stuff can happen, and bad things happen. Get the help that you need, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you still got up.
Yep. That's
There's
right.
a lot of people who don't get up.
Yeah. Well.
Straight up. I
Yeah.
mean, for one reason or another, death, depression, whatever.
If you're one of those people, please stand up.
Yeah.
Please stand up.
Please stand up. fight for yourself. Fight for your.
That's right.
You fight for your right to be happy and to move forward and to do good things.
That's right.
Spread the joy onto others. That is the joy of living, right?
Yes, sir. And
Yeah.
as far as your happiness goes, do we have any particular favorite drink today or preferred drink or anything like that to induce your happiness?
My preferred drink. I printed out a thing that says caffeine, and I'm licking the paper. It tastes like caffeine. I think
that's
good.
That's pretty bad, man. That's pretty freaking bad.
I got out of bed, so I'm okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
But
looking
you're
at
on
the
the
paper that
floor.
says caffeine.
You got out of the bed, but you're now on the floor.
That's right, and I can't get up. I've fallen and I can't get out. Life alert.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a really big bun. That's a really big bun.
That's it.
Where's the beef?
That's right.
Yeah, but yeah, that paper. I think it's helping. I don't know. What do you have?
Does tequila count? No, just kidding. I don't drink first thing in the morning, although screwdrivers do go great with eggs, folks. Just so you know. No, I don't drink. I haven't had a drink in quite some time. I don't plan
Good for
on it.
you. That's very
Yeah,
good.
man. Yeah, man. Well, it's called, having health issues. So you got to watch what you do. Anyways, what do I have to drink? Well, water.
Water.
It's
Yeah,
a little
okay.
early. I got up. I just didn't get the coffee growing today,
Yeah.
and so it's
Are you
just
drinking the
water.
water and then thinking about coffee? Like,
No, just
that
drinking
works?
the water.
Oh,
Just drinking
okay.
the water. Later on,
All right.
I need some caffeine to wake myself
All
up.
right. Hey, I can
might
offer
about
you
that.
the other side of this paper, and you can look the other side.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I think it's probably got some aftertaste now. God only knows where that tongue's been.
Well, you ever see that commercial? Like, I think it was like talking about drugs or something, like one of those truth commercials. And there's this girl, she's just going around in like the neighborhood, just looking random stuff. She's looking like
Yes,
she looked like
yes.
a cat, and then like the
Yep.
trash can lid
Yep.
and a flash water. It's like, yeah, that's me. On a regular basis without drugs.
Oh,
That's
I
me.
know. I don't. Yeah, I mean, geez, I didn't get done with that commercial, and so what was the point?
I don't
I
know.
did that yesterday.
The truth, yeah, the truth commercials were always really strange, but they got your attention because they were different.
That was the point. That was
Yeah,
the point, just
for
to
sure.
get your attention.
For
As,
sure.
as strange as it was,
As
and it was
as
strange.
awful that one commercial was with the cowboy who had the voice box
Yeah.
singing. I mean, that's a cool sound.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
doing it. You
Yeah.
don't always die from tobacco. Sometimes you just lose a lung. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
good song. And then
Yeah.
the dude comes in at the end and says, "Oh, you don't always die from tobacco." It's like what an interesting commercial. Of course, that guy
Truly.
passed away now. Rest
Yeah.
in peace. Because
Yeah.
he had cancer. He had
Yep.
complications from the cigarette smoke.
Yep.
Just don't do it, people. Don't smoke if you're smoking.
I know.
Stop
I know.
it. Stop it. Get some help.
I'm a former smoker.
Yeah. See, good former. At least you stopped. My dad was a former smoker too. I think.
Yeah.
I believe
for
he
him.
was smoking and then he stopped. So and he was good for all that time. So
Yeah. I just remember the commercials for back in the '80s, man, where it was like a cast iron pan. It was like, "This is your brain.
It's your brain. It's your brain
This is
on drugs.
Any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah.
Just a fried egg, and that's it.
Yeah. It's
I
like-
actually had a poster of different brain on stuff, if you will. This is your brain with a side order of bacon. This is your brain with Batman. And stuff like that. It was just one big poster.
Okay.
And it had all the fried stuff with the different phrases. It was great.
I remember in elementary school, they really wanted to hammer it into us, like, hey, don't do drugs. Like, they had these horrible posters of, I don't know if you ever saw these horrible posters of lungs, healthy lungs, and lungs that have been on.
And they were in your
smoking all this stuff.
kindergarten classroom?
They were in the classroom. They were in the gymnasium. They were everywhere, and you could just see it.
In
Real
the
lungs.
kindergarten classroom?
Maybe in the first grade classroom. Maybe not
Wow.
kindergarten. But they just had them up there. It's like, oh. I mean,
That's
hey, it
wild.
really made you think, because it's like, wow. And they looked like real lungs. I mean, it was
Wow.
like, it was a
No, I
different time.
don't. I mean, yes, I recall
Yeah.
seeing stuff like that, but I don't
Yeah.
ever recall seeing it.
That's where I saw it in school. And
Wow.
usually it's somewhere around the same place where they had the Got Milk campaign.
That's crazy.
Like the
Yeah,
Olsen
yeah.
twins with the Olsen twins with their milk mustaches, and right next to it, you got a fucking lung that's just
Oh
emaciated
man.
by all this
No.
smoke.
That's
Uh,
terrible. Oh
it's
gosh.
ridiculous. Dare was really crazy. I mean, the Dare program was just really crazy back then.
You remember what DARE stood for?
Oh man, drugs are really excellent. I don't know what does Dare stand for.
Drug Awareness
Drug awareness
Resistance
resistance.
Education.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Are you sure it's not drugs are really excellent?
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Oh
Could
man.
be. You never know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Anyway, that's fun.
Yeah.
Let's move from that to more stuff that's gonna be fun. Or
This one's
unsolved
an interesting.
conspiracies.
Yes,
Yeah.
unsolved conspiracies, plots, and deceptions that have puzzled the greatest minds by Bill Price. This one, conspiracy number 7. Was Princess Diana's death an accident or was she murdered? The date was August 31st, 1997, and the location was Paris, France. Most people accept that Princess Diana's death was a tragic accident. A small number, though, are vehement in their belief that members of the British establishment conspired to kill her. Diana had been the subject of intense media interest ever since her engagement to Prince Charles in 1981 when she was 19 years old. The marriage had not been a happy one. Both Charles and Diana had been involved with other people before they separated, and in 1996 they divorced. In July 1997, Diana began a relationship with Dodi Fayed, the 42-year-old son of Egyptian businessman Mohammed Al Fayed, who, among many other interests, owned the Ritz Hotel in Paris and Harrods department store in London. A media frenzy began as rumors circulated that Diana and Dodi were about to get engaged on August 30th, 1997. The world's paparazzi assembled outside the Ritz in Paris to capture the couple's arrival after a short holiday in the Mediterranean on Fahid's yacht. An accident in Paris. Shortly after midnight, Diana and Dodi uh, left the Ritz by a back entrance, heading for an apartment in Paris owned by Mohammed Al Fayed. They were traveling in a black Mercedes limousine driven by Henry Paul, the deputy head of security at the hotel, and were accompanied by Trevor Rees-Jones, one of Mohammed Al Fayed's security team, who was sitting in the front passenger seat. Some members of the press had been waiting at the hotel's back entrance, and they pursued Diana and Dodi's black Mercedes in a number of cars and by motorbike. The limo was traveling at considerable speed, presumably in an effort to lose the paparazzi, when Paul apparently lost control of the car as it was entering the, hang on, I'm going to get this right. I'm going to get this right. Place de la Alma. Yay, I said it
Yes.
right. Let's see here. Place de la Alma. Lost my place. There we go. Tunnel. It swerved across the road and crashed head on into a concrete pillar at a speed later estimated to have been 65 miles per hour. It spun around and careered backward into the wall of the tunnel. Dodi Fayed and Henry Paul were pronounced dead at the scene, while Diana and Trevor Rees-Jones survived the initial crash. They had sustained serious injuries and were taken to a nearby hospital. Rees-Jones survived, but Diana had major internal injuries and died later that night. The media initially reported that the pursuing press cars and bikes had been responsible for the accident. An inquiry later established that the press vehicles had been too far away from the Mercedes at the time of the crash to have caused it, but that the car had been traveling at such speed in an attempt to lose them. Henry Paul was found to have alcohol and prescription medications in his bloodstream, which could have impaired his driving ability and judgment, leading to the conclusion that his reckless driving had been the primary cause of the accident. The inquiry also noted that none of the occupants of the car had been wearing seatbelts and that this was a contributory factor to the 3 deaths. Accident or royal conspiracy? Traces of white paint found on the Mercedes after the crash were thought to have come from a Fiat Uno seen in the tunnel by a number of witnesses, leading to claims that the crash may not have been caused by the driver error alone. Despite an intensive effort by French police to find the white Fiat, it has never been found and the driver has not come forward, fueling speculation that there was a conspiracy to kill Diana. The most vocal proponent of this view had been Mohammed Al Fayed, who stated on many occasions that he believes the British Secret Service MI6 were involved and that they acted on the orders of Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. Al Fayed claimed not only that Diana was planning on getting engaged to his son and that she was pregnant with his child at the time of her death, but that Henry Paul had been involved with MI6. The prospect of Diana marrying an Egyptian Muslim had, he said, caused the British royal family severe embarrassment, enough for them to want to get rid of her. In 2004, a British police inquiry began to re-examine the evidence and investigate the claims of a conspiracy. After 2 years, a report was published which stated that no evidence of a conspiracy had been found and that Diana had not been pregnant. It came to the same conclusion as the original French inquiry, that Diana's death was the result of an accident and that Paul had been primarily responsible for the crash. But in the absence of such a key piece of information, the identity of the person who was driving the white Fiat Uno, some doubt must still remain over the exact circumstances of her death.
And this one's interesting in that he didn't straight up write like he believes like one way or the other. The other ones he straight up said like, "Oh, this can't be true. This is not true." All this kind of
Right.
stuff. This one he left open ended.
Yep,
Like,
he left open-ended. Yeah,
that's
like,
very
there's
interesting.
not enough information to fully state that there wasn't
No.
a Fiat at this point, which, you know,
Yeah.
it's this is I guess I was blind to it, or maybe I was just because I was younger at the time. I mean, because I was in my teens at the time. Well, not my teens, 20s. I was in my 20s at that point. So yeah, I was busy. I knew of her death, but I never knew of a conspiracy. I mean, that's wow.
You never heard about that after, like, you never
No,
did some research?
I've
I've done some
never.
research as far as the Princess Diana stuff because there's been videos on YouTube as far as her even saying that she didn't feel necessarily safe. Like, she's been in interviews saying, like, I'm not really sure if I wanted, stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but she said as much as, like, she doesn't feel, she didn't feel like she was necessarily 100%, again, safe in her
Okay.
position, which is very interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
is it true? Or, I mean, I'm not sure. I also know that in 2013 there was a trial of some dude named Danny Nightingale, who was a British SAS soldier
Okay.
accused of possessing an illegal firearm, and it was basically there were like allegations that the SAS was involved in her death, and
But they like shot the driver or something? I mean,
it emerged that the allegations had actually been made by one of the soldiers, some in the SAS. That guy's estranged wife, whose identity was kept secret, and as she
interesting.
claimed her husband had told her that the SAS had killed Diana, and then passed the information to police. But then the police didn't consider her a credible witness. But allegedly, there was that one instance
Interesting.
of this lady who is a wife of an SAS soldier who
Right.
may have been involved, allegedly. But that's one account. It's
Yeah.
never been confirmed.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one because Princess Diana's story has always been one of intrigue because she wasn't British. She was American. So
Correct.
I mean that's where it's like an American like fantasy, and it's a very interesting thing for Americans to think of, like, an American get into the to the royal family. And look at Meghan Markle, right?
Yeah, I was
I
about to say
mean,
Meghan Markle is
yeah,
back. We're
yeah,
back
but
to
then
that again.
yeah, but she's also gone to some crap because the whole fact that was it Prince, what's his name, the dude with red hair, Prince what? I don't know his name. Who married her?
I don't remember.
Yeah, the fact that prince basically, I think he basically renounced his eligibility to be the next prince, the next king, by marrying her. I think something along those lines.
Prince Harry.
Prince Harry, yeah, yeah. That whole thing, like, just the whole entire the whole entire like the royal family and all that stuff. Just so many secrets, and the fact that
Sure.
it was ruled all that time by one person, by the Queen Elizabeth, who's seen so many presidents, and all that time she was in charge. I mean, at some point she became a figurehead, more or less. But I mean, as far as we know, she might have been doing stuff behind the scenes. Who knows?
Sure.
But you know, for them to suddenly have that change, and now it's like the Prince Philip, who's now the King Philip.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe he is,
with Camilla Parker Bowles,
something
right?
like that.
I think that's her. Yeah, I mean the fact that they had that regime change is like, yeah, there's a lot that we don't know, simply as Americans looking from the outside in, because we don't know much about, you know, the way that side of the world works. We're not in that system. We have presidents, we have
Right.
congressmen, we have all that stuff. I mean, they have their parliament and they have their king. It's like it's different worlds, you know.
Truly.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about this. I'm not sure. The white fiat, I never heard about that. I never heard of the white
again,
fiat.
I never really did the research on it, Jay. I just, to hear about this white fiat, but to leave it open-ended kind of in a
Yeah.
way. I mean, look, the report's already said there's no evidence to back it up, okay?
Sure.
So if there's no evidence to back it up, then there's no evidence to back it up.
Yeah,
So-
it's still strange that there's a, I mean, I'm assuming that they did, at some point, they did the research and found out, like, oh, this is not a pre-existing scratch that was on here from a white fiat. This happened after, this was found after or during, whatever. This occurred when
Sure.
the terrible tragedy took place.
Well, again, it's just because other witnesses claim to have seen this
That too.
vehicle.
But then
at
no
the scene.
one could find it. That's the weird thing.
Right,
It's
but then nobody can find
You would
it.
have thought
Exactly.
somebody would have, I don't know.
I get it. I get it. Maybe it's just a red herring.
Yeah.
It sounds like a red herring to me.
It could be.
That's just my 2 cents of it.
I
all,
mean,
but, hey, that's just me.
I'm sure you've heard, like I've heard, it was always, oh yeah, they were getting away from the paparazzi and the
That's
driver
exactly
lost
right.
control.
That's exactly right.
Right?
I didn't actually realize that the driver was inebriated or had.
I didn't know that either.
Had alcohol in him and painkillers.
Yeah,
The
I think
painkillers?
that's
Wasn't it painkillers?
yeah. Alcohol and let's see here, prescription medicines.
Yeah, painkillers. Yep. Or
Yeah.
it says prescription medicines in his bloodstream. That could be anything.
That could be anything.
That and they probably could say, hey, you know what? Don't take this with alcohol, type thing. You know, because there's plenty of things.
There's
that they
plenty
tell you
of
with alcohol.
there's plenty of those that say like, hey, don't operate heavy machinery when you were.
Yeah, well-
and everybody always assumes heavy machinery is like, oh, like a forklift. No, anything.
No, it's a fucking vehicle,
a car,
man.
a vehicle.
It's a car. Yeah,
but like
I mean,
everybody's
well-
like, I'm not driving a forklift. That doesn't matter. It's a car.
No, exactly.
Don't drive.
I take prescription meds and drive heavy machinery.
Yeah.
But I've also taken these prescription meds for quite some time, so I understand how they react to my body.
All right.
That's all there is to that. But yeah, man.
What a terrible tragedy. We lost a great
truly is.
person.
Mhm, 100%.
All those videos you see of her, like even today, people are still posting videos of her, and then I'm sure you remember the the wake or the funeral with her and Elton John redid his song, "Candle in the Wind," did it for her. It's like, wow. I think "Candle in the Wind" was originally done for like Elizabeth Taylor.
I think so, but I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah, and then he redid it for Princess Di. We lost a great person. I feel like it seems like whenever we look at the videos, it looks like she was very a very intriguing, like really down to earth person. Seems like we don't know her. We don't know her specifically because we never will. Unfortunately she's gone. But the legacy she left certainly seems like she was one heck of a lady. Put it lightly. Anyway, there's no way to really end that one because we'll never know. I mean, maybe they'll find out eventually. Maybe somebody will have the truth. Maybe they'll find the fiat.
Maybe the truth has already been revealed, Jay, and it's just a tragic accident.
It could be.
That's what
But
I think.
I mean, I just want to know what
tragic
happened.
accident.
I just
That's
want to know
all.
what happened to the fiat now. I don't know.
I don't think anything happened to the fiat. I don't think there was a fiat.
What do you mean? What do you mean there wasn't a fiat? They said straight up. I mean, at some point.
No,
there
they
was
can't prove there's again.
traces of
No
white
one
paint.
came forward No one came forward. You know what? That could have been from something else previously.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
that's true. I don't know. Well, I don't know. We won't know. If anybody knows, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll break the exclusive right here
That's
on
right.
Loopy and Latkes, the podcast that has dozens of viewers.
That's right. Dozens and
Dozens,
dozens.
dozens. Only growing though. We
That's
appreciate
right.
you. We appreciate everybody who's listening. Hey,
Amen.
well, yeah, I'm not putting down our listeners. Hey, I
Not at
appreciate
all.
y'all. Y'all are great
That's
people.
absolutely.
Y'all keep us going. All right, cool. Let's move on to this other book, Phantom Phenomena: Tales of the World's Most Terrifying and Supernatural Events, by the publishing house Castle. And as always, the story you're about to hear has not been proven due to the number of submissions that have been collected anonymously. Names and attributions have been removed unless otherwise noted. Keep in mind, these stories are not told through my perspective, but through the perspective of those who experienced them or what they've heard from others. Warnings for mentions of possible suicide, violence against animals, and other adult themes. Listener discretion advised. This one is called "Why I Don't Go Into Hospital Morgues Anymore." Working
Ugh.
so working so closely with the dead might lead you to believe that the afterlife isn't so frightening. But what about when you are reminded that the dead can still affect the living? Field notes. Location: the hospital morgue. Anywhere. Date: time: during the dead shift. That's nice. Atmosphere: a chilling stillness. Like, really? During the dead shift? We're talking about the morgue? Classy. But anyway, my profession revolves around funeral care, so I guess it's no surprise I have a story like this. I work for a company that handles the transportation of bodies from the place of passing to the funeral home for preparation and storage. I've been in this job for many years now, and honestly, I love it. My role in helping others during what is often one of the hardest and darkest moments in their lives means so much to me. One of the most common runs I find myself going on, let me read that again. I said that wrong. One of the most common runs I find myself on is going to hospital morgues, taking out as many bodies as possible and delivering them to be embalmed or cremated at the many funeral homes around the state. I've been to the hospital in this story so many times that I knew most of the security guards by name. The guard who came to meet me, whom I'll call Jed, escorted me through the winding halls and maze-like labyrinth that seemed to make up the lower levels of most hospitals. Everything was as normal. We talked about our lives, how work was treating us, and swapped stories of the baffling experiences that these jobs will occasionally bestow upon us. When we got to the morgue, I went through the usual procedures: sign documentation, draw up ankle tags, put on gloves, and confirm all the bodies are exactly who they're supposed to be. Typically, Jed and I stay together the whole time in case I need any help to move someone and to make sure that everything is locked up again when I leave. This time, though, Jed received a call on his radio about an angry woman who had just attempted to assault a nurse for telling her something she didn't like. Jed told me he had to go and that he'd be back as soon as possible. He rushed off and left me alone in the cooler. I didn't mind. Some people find being alone with dead bodies a very unnerving experience, always weary of the haunting look of their glazed-over eyes. But not me. I enjoy talking to bodies, venting about my day, entrusting important secrets, or just simply telling them how good my lunch sounds.
What?
This guy is a weirdo.
Okay.
All of which fall onto ears that can never again retell the words I impart to them. As I was detailing the lunch I would have as soon as I got back to the van, I noticed a sound. It sounded like someone brushing against the plastic of the body bags that they stored the bodies in. I looked around the room, expecting Jed to maybe have returned and try to startle me like he had done numerous times before. There was no one else in the room, so I chalked it up to one of the fans rustling some of the plastic. I moved the first body without issue, but when I went to pull out the second one, I heard that sound again. It sounded just like someone adjusting the plastic shrouds, but quietly, like they were trying to keep me from noticing it. I decided to just load up this last body and then leave, whether or not Jed was back. I opened the bag to compare my ankle tag with the one the hospitals put on the toe when the lights began to flicker and the fans began to pulse and shudder. It lasted for a long moment. Then everything suddenly went dark, and the silence was deafening. In surprise, I cursed and then slowly shuffled my way across the dark, cold room. I froze in my tracks when the silence was disrupted by a quiet sound, amplified by the room's silence. The sound of a zipper slowly unzipping from the back of the room. I internally screamed at my body to get to the door to put as much distance between me and the sound as possible, but it refused to listen, the unnerving sound of the zipper cementing me in place. After a long, tense moment, the sound ceased. My mind was racing to come up with an explanation for this sound. Was this a prank? Perhaps another sound, just misinterpreted in this dark room? Another sound interrupted my panicked thoughts, plastic shifting, and then the slap of something smacking onto the floor. Control rushed back into my body as I heard footsteps slowly smacking, one after another, on the hard concrete floor. It was coming closer to me. I ran across the room, desperate to find the door and escape this chilled prison, but the room seemed longer than it should have been. The farther I ran, the faster and closer the footsteps sounded, just as the footsteps seemed to put whatever was chasing me just a few feet behind me. My feet seemed to just fly out from beneath me. I fell to the floor with a painful thud, and once again all sound ceased. I lay there for what felt like an eternity, trying to catch my breath, waiting to hear something, anything, that would tell me where the source of the sound was. The dark and cold were the only things my body could register for a few moments before I realized the sensation of something hovering inches from my face. Once again my body froze in terror at what unseen horror had placed itself in front of me. I felt an icy breath exhale onto my face, the stench of decay and death, briefly overloading my senses as the wet sound of a mouth slowly opening began. I felt whatever it was leaning closer toward me, just about to touch me, as the door to the cooler burst open, and it suddenly flooded the room with light and the sound of fans whirring ceaselessly. Jed! Seeing me sprawled across the floor, pale and breathless, with a body lying on the other side of the room, Jed gave me a look of alarm as he asked me if everything was okay. I told him I just tripped and fell as I was coming out to get him to help me pick up a body that I had accidentally dropped. He laughed at me as we picked up and returned the fallen body to its crypt table. I loaded up my last body and bolted out and away from that hospital. I don't know what happened in that room, whether it was hallucination or if I was a witness to some kind of paranormal encounter. I still work this job, and I still go to hospitals all over the state. But suffice it to say, I don't go into any morgue coolers by myself anymore.
Best one yet.
Yeah, that's a good one. That had a lot of intrigue. Like, yeah, the mouth opening and
I
stuff.
mean, dude,
like,
that was like written. That was written like by Stephen King or something, man.
Yeah,
all
that's
right,
pretty
that's all I'm
good.
saying.
That's
that
pretty
was
good.
pretty. That was pretty hairy. Dude, I should have unmuted myself on my end, but I was like yelling at the cell, "Bitch, get out of the room! Get the fuck out of there, man! No!" Mm-mm.
Well, this person was so, you got fight or flight response, and obviously this person was way too frightened to move. Until eventually they're like, okay, the light, ooh, yeah. I don't know what I would do. If I heard something like that, like, in a morgue, like, man, you had to be a certain person to work in a morgue.
Amen. 100%.
I could not do it. It's like
No.
all those dead bodies, it's like, I think it's an important place. I'm not trying to say anything bad about the morgue or anybody that works in there, but I just know I couldn't handle it.
There are certain people that can do certain things in the world, okay?
Yeah.
And those that can do those things
Yeah.
deserve to do those things in some way, shape, or form.
I mean,
And
this
I
is a
applaud
needed-
them for their efforts. I really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's a very different kind of job.
Oh yeah, for sure. I hope they get paid handsomely for that because
No, they do.
that's not something. I mean, you can't pull somebody off the street and say like, "Hey, help me in the morgue real quick." No.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Nope.
Like everything else, this also has a little blurb in here.
Okay.
If anywhere is going to be haunted, it'll be a hospital. There. As fresh.
Yeah,
legit.
yeah, yeah.
The hospital people are dying there all the time. Like, it's
Yep.
gonna be
Ghost
the-
hunters used to do all sorts of crazy stuff with
Yeah.
psych, with the old hospitals and
That's
psych
right.
wards and things
Yeah,
like
the
that.
old sanitariums and stuff.
Yep.
As fresh bodies are moved and prodded, spirits linger around the morgue. The infamous hospital that was known as the Pennsylvania State Lunatic Asylum until 1937 has a long and eerie history that contributes to its reputation as one of the most haunted places in the state.
Nice.
Visitors and staff have reported hearing blood-curdling screams and strange noises, not to mention seeing shadows and ghostly apparitions. The morgue
I could believe it.
Yeah, I can too. The morgue, basement, and hidden tunnels, wow, are said to be the epicenter of these encounters. Witnesses have reported the sudden appearance of blood-like stains in the morgue's exam room. These occurrences have attracted curious individuals who want to experience the chilling presence for themselves. The Pennsylvania State Lunatic Asylum. Yeah, it's always an asylum, or those are the places that you really get the weird stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. If this one is necessarily true. It's very well written, but it just sounds strange.
It is.
I mean, the mind can play real crazy tricks to make you think that you've seen something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it can certainly get real that way. I mean, in a weird way, it's like it's said before. Like your tongue can tell what something tastes like without having to taste it, without having to physically
Really?
taste it. Yeah. Think about like the texture of an orange. Your tongue knows what that feels like.
That's true.
Yeah, you can think of a lot of things, like like textures and stuff. Like think about like licking a cat's ass. Your tongue knows what that tastes like.
No, I don't want to know what that tastes like, Jay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm just saying the mind does weird stuff, and I'm saying this could be true. Maybe this person was going to an episode. I don't know. It's hard to say, but then again,
True.
it is a morgue. Weird things happen in morgues. Weird things happen in hospitals, and especially in their morgues, because again, spirits are there. Spirits are wandering around,
absolutely.
like people who have just passed away, or are attached to their physical form. I mean, that happens. That's a thing,
Right.
Hospitals are great places. You get a lot of good things there. Babies are born. People save lives, but at the other end of that, there's a lot of death.
Some
And
people
it's-
say that that hospitals are like reincarnation points.
Yeah,
They're like
Yeah.
nexus
I can see
points
that. Yeah.
of reincarnation because of the fact that people will die and their spirit kind of goes from one body and then the child is born and then
Right.
kind of goes into another.
Right. You ever seen Being John Malkovich?
Yes, I have.
That's what I'm thinking of now.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
like all of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah. I mean, let me just go through this little door, and
Yep, and
oh,
that's
now
it.
all of a sudden, yeah,
Mhm. Perfect.
Yeah. What a good movie, by the way.
Yes, it
That's
was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah. But anyway, that's these
Yeah,
are both really
wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
We don't have any conclusions on either of these because again,
No.
I can't verify this story, and we certainly can't verify the Princess Diana thing.
Nope.
Let us know your thoughts, people, in our Facebook or YouTube comments, wherever you want to leave them. We'll find them because we want to hear what you have to say. These
Totally.
are hard ones. These are hard ones. I mean, especially that Princess Diana thing. That's a real hard one too.
Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow in my
that's a
mind.
hard one. I don't know. I'm not sure where I stand on that.
On the story,
On the story, as far as like on whether
That's
or not it was
the
murder,
better-
or it was an accident.
oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I think it was an accident. I do.
Yeah, it's
Let lying dogs lie here
For
on this
me,
one,
it's
Jay. It's an
inconclusive.
accident.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but that's but as far as like the writing thing, I appreciate the fact that he's left it open ended because that one
Yeah.
again, it's probably still an ongoing. It's probably still an ongoing investigation. If I had to guess,
I sure
somebody's still doing something.
I sure hope not.
I don't. Hey man, if they can still do the research about like JFK after all this time, I'm sure people are looking at like the stuff for you know. I'm just saying. But in any case, that's going to do it for us here at the coffee table. And when we come back, it'll be time for This You Call News. We'll see y'all soon. And now it's time for This You Call News. And with our article for This You Call News, it's Mitch of Olympian Lattes. Mitch!
Thank you, Jay. This comes to us from the Cowboy State Daily. Recent article this month. It says here, Powell farmer says McDonald's has apologized, will allow horses and wagon in drive-through.
I had no idea that I didn't even read that. It said Cowboy State Daily.
Yep.
Well, that's a. I mean, where else would you find this article, right? I mean, sure.
Yeah, well, it's actually in the lovely state, I believe it is Wyoming.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yep, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough.
after Powell McDonald's made international headlines last week for banning a farmer who used a drive-through with a team of horses, the man said the franchise apologized and reversed its ban. The support across the state has been staggering, he said. Last week, Powell farmer Alan Hatch was told he and his two draft horses, Cole and Onyx, weren't welcome in the McDonald's drive-thru. After news of the drive-thru ban spread internationally, McDonald's has reportedly changed their order. The farmer said that not only are he and his horses welcome to return, but there's also going to be some changes under the Golden Arches. Hatch said he was contacted by a representative of Yellowstone McDonald's, the company that owns and operates 16 McDonald's franchises in Wyoming and Montana. He received a personal private apology and was told he and his horses are welcome back. That ban has since been rescinded, Hatch told Cowboy State Daily. I was offered one free meal for the entire family. I was also told they are retraining their employees so any legal form of transportation is allowed through the drive-thru. McDonald's might have second-guessed its horse and wagon policy, but Wyoming businesses doubled down on theirs. Hatch has been contacted by several regional businesses which told him and his horses that they are welcome anytime. The community support across the state has been staggering, he said. Phone calls and emailed sent to the McDonald's franchise were not returned. That's not our policy. Hatch had already visited both windows and received his order when the manager of the Powell's McDonald's told him that his horses and wagon weren't permitted in the drive-thru. I was told there was a company policy precluding having livestock in the drive-thru for purposes of liability, Hatch said. The one thing that the manager was very clear about is what happens if they shit in my drive-thru since there's no one to clean it up. Hatch didn't argue. He got the message to take his order and leave, and he did. After the story was circulated online, Hatch got a call from Casey Taggart, the marketing and public relations lead for Yellowstone McDonald's. They had a discussion about what had transpired and about the drive-thru directive. At the onset, he told the decision was essentially that of the local manager, he said. He stated that she was acting on her own accord with no outside communication or issued guidance. That conflicted with what Hatch was told in a private message from a separate, unrelated McDonald's manager. In that message, Hatch was informed that the policy had come from a new era supervisor from another state who told the Powell manager what to do real time while I was in the drive-thru. Hatch isn't sure who gave the order not to allow draft horses through drive-thrus, but he believes that it didn't originate with the Powell manager. While she was rude and somewhat unprofessional, it didn't sound like it was her decision to tell me I could never bring the horses back through, he said. I don't think she was acting on her own. It wasn't just her. Banned versus banned. According to Hatch, one thing Taggart wanted to clarify was his interpretation of being banned from the Powell McDonald's. He explained that it was never the intention for anyone involved. He insisted that I wasn't personally banned, Hatch said. I said that I agree, but we were banned, meaning the horses and me. The three of us were told that we would never do this again. That was the genesis of my use of the word banned. Taggart clarified that neither Hatch nor horse was banned from any McDonald's drive-thru and that there would be some changes. He said that they are retraining nearly 1,000 Yellowstone McDonald's people so that they will allow any legal form of transportation through the drive-thru, he said. I asked via text and phone if this would be a written policy change, but he wouldn't commit to that. For the record, Hatch's wagon is a road legal vehicle with all the proper slow-moving vehicle signage when he went through the drive-thru initially. Plus, Hatch's exact wording was that he was 86th from the McDonald's drive-thru, and he has witnesses. Mark Davis, the Powell Tribune reporter who took the photo, witnessed the exchange, he said. When I mentioned this to Taggart, he seemed unimpressed. Don't have a cow over horses. Overall, Hatch wasn't particularly perturbed by the drive-thru debacle. He certainly wasn't intending to get that much attention from a spur-of-the-moment decision. I'm not that invested in it, he said. If I had known there was a policy regarding livestock in the drive-thru, I wouldn't have made the turn. All Hatch wanted to do was continue training his new draft horses, Cole and Onyx, as they acclimate to Wyoming. The horses aren't used to things like lights at night, and they primarily take commands in Swedish rather than German or English. They come from a different culture, he said. They're different from every other team I've been around. I just wanted to give them some miles, learn how to communicate with them, and see how they would do. Hatch intends to use his horses for farm work and private trail trips for his friends and family. They were entirely unperturbed and unbothered by their short-lived McDonald's ban and are slowly bonding with their new owner and home. Meanwhile, several Wyoming businesses have contacted Hatch, saying he and his horse and wagon set are always welcome. I've heard from the K Saloon, Legends Pizza, Millstone Brewery, and Body and Paint in Powell, and the Tractor Supply in Cody, offering services to horses and wagons, he said. The Dairyland in Thermopolis told me they're attempting to gather Teamsters for a drive-thru event. Everything's cool now. Yellowstone McDonald's has, in Hatch's words, contained the PR disaster this incident has become, and he's freely going about his business with his new horses. There's just one more thing Hatch wanted to clear up. I've heard Onyx and Cole called everything from mules to Clydesdales. They are Pencheron draft horses, and we are no longer 86th from the McDonald's drive-thru.
The only thing I had to say about this is, like, straight up what the manager says. Like, where if they shit in the drive-thru? Who cleans it up?
I asked that exact same thing to my wife, and we could not find the right answer about that. That is the only thing about this article. But I found this article very interesting.
On the guy who owns the horses and is riding the wagon to clean it up.
I agree. Yeah. I do agree. But when you are riding when you've got your horse and your buggy, if you will, and you're moving right along, hopping right along at a good clip, if you will, and the horses do their thing.
But we're talking about
really
in the drive-thru. We're talking about in the drive-thru. It's slow. You're not going. No one's it's not an actual drive-thru where you don't stop. You have to stop at some point.
Right.
So if they shit in the drive-thru, you should be able to smell it, and you should clean it up. That's on the owner of the horses, because that is certainly not in the McDonald's employees' code of conduct. So hey, but if someone shits, other than in the bathroom, if someone shits in the drive-thru, that's not on you. I mean, that was a very good point. Yeah. Hey, Bill, bring the mop. I'm not doing that. No.
Dude, honest to God, I just get the hose, man.
Yeah, it's like hose it off towards the Burger King next door. There you go. Have it your way, buddy.
That's right. We got some more charcoal for you,
Oh,
pal.
here you go. Flame grilled.
That's
Oh,
right.
God. Oh,
Polish
man.
a turd, it's still a turd.
That's right. That's right. This man wanted a turd on his. He wanted a turd burger. Yeah, have it your way, sir.
The guy wanted to go to McDonald's. That's what
Yeah.
he wanted to do. And
Yeah.
he did. He went to McDonald's.
And the other thing too is like he straight up he went through the line, and it was after he got through the line that the manager said you can't be here. It's like
Yep.
that's stupid. If you wanted to
Yep.
stop him, you should have stopped him at the very first window because they have a camera where they can see who pulls up. You tell me they didn't see? He didn't. The manager was like not told that immediately or something. It's like oh, a horse.
If I had to guess the situation here, my guess would be that he's done this before. And they were like, okay, what the heck do we do about this guy? Well, if he comes back in next time, I got to figure out something to say. So they reached out to someone else, and they were like, tell them this. And they're like, you know what? That's a good idea. That's what I'll
Yeah,
tell them.
could
So
be.
he came back in again, and they said, get out of here, dude. You can't do that. And
Yeah.
so he made a comment online, and it just, it ballooned up from there.
Yeah.
And it caught national
Yeah,
news, and
right.
so guess what? They had to kind of reverse what they were doing and be like, "Well, wait
Yeah.
a minute, what the heck happened?" And clearly, there's some
Retraining.
misunderstanding.
Retraining. So I'm assuming they're also going to train them how to properly handle horse shit. I mean, that's what I hear. It's like, what in the world?
Look,
That's the only concern. Everything else, like,
Do you
fine,
remember
you
going?
got a horse.
Do you remember
Go
going
ahead.
to the parades and stuff like that back in the
Yeah,
day as a kid and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff?
yeah, where
And
they
there
had,
would be
like, yeah.
horses on the parade.
Yes.
And what would they do? What would they do? The horse would shit on the road, and what happened? They would go and clean it. There would be somebody to go over there and clean it
Yeah,
up,
there was
right?
usually somebody following along that had, like, a pail or something to clean up.
Right, somebody had a pail. I saw, and this was years ago, I saw someone, I don't remember where it was specifically. They were literally in like a golf cart, and there was this huge freaking vacuum that's attached to the golf cart with this big freaking nozzle on it, and they literally just went up to the poop and sucked it up.
Ew, gross.
Yeah.
The way you describe it, that sounds disgusting.
It
just
was
sucked up
disgusting,
the
but
poop.
guess what? They just sucked up the poop, and guess what? No more poop on the ground.
Gross.
Keep on going, guys.
Hey,
Everything's
great.
fine.
That works, I guess.
Yep.
The other thing too is like where they straight up said like, yeah, his vehicle was already had all the signs and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, road legal vehicle with all the
It's
proper
a
slow moving vehicle
street
signage.
legal vehicle.
So
Yeah.
that I mean, I understand the concern for the horse shit, but at the same time, it's a street legal vehicle. You can't do that. That's prejudice. That's
If it's
at that point. Yeah.
Well, yes, it is. It's
Yeah.
improper to it.
Yeah.
It's a street legal vehicle, therefore
Yeah.
they're allowed to go through the drive-through, 100%.
Right.
But what do you do about? Again, I'm still stuck on the poop, man.
On the
I
poop,
am. I'm
yeah.
stuck on the poop.
I think that was a very good point when he brought it up. And it's like, that's a very good point. Because, I mean, it's in the same way that, I remember seeing, I don't know if we talked about it or something, where someone, I think I saw it on Reddit, where someone was at a CHKD thrift store, right? And then
Right.
they're looking at something, and the person just vomited on the floor, and then the person behind
Oh
the
my
counter,
gosh.
person behind
Oh.
the counter had to clean it up, and the whole time they were under their breath saying like, "I don't get paid enough for this. This is not what I do. This is not
Right,
my job.
right,
How dare this
right.
person vomit in this space?" And then the person who vomited felt bad, and then so did the
Right.
person that was with them. And then they went to Google to put a review on their page like, "This is inappropriate and unprofessional. My friend was already embarrassed, and then how dare they say all this stuff?" Like, but they're not wrong. They don't get paid to clean up puke.
No,
I
you
mean-
don't get paid to clean up puke.
Yeah,
However,
so like
as being an employee for said company, should accidents happen,
yeah.
someone's got to clean it up.
There's a way to handle it. That's the thing. There's a
I
way to
get
have
it.
tact, and for that person to say it even under their breath, and to say it at all, like you should think those things internally. I mean, everybody's going to think like, "Yeah, I don't get paid enough for this," but you never say it out
Nope.
loud because the customers within earshot. You don't do that. That's the thing you just don't do. And
I've
that's
I've
yeah.
got kids that have thrown up right in front of me, right on me, and I don't think I've ever said I don't get paid enough for this because, well, as a father, I'm not getting paid anyways.
no. You're getting paid and all the memories and the love and
Oh yeah, the memories
Yeah.
of puke. Oh yeah, that's so
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
not
yeah,
not
yeah,
nice at
yeah.
all. Mm-mm. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No.
Um,
No. But yeah,
yeah.
that's the only thing that I can
That's the only
think of as
thing.
well. Yeah,
I
but
mean, that was a
outside
very
of
good
this,
point.
the McDonald's the management
Yeah.
went too far.
Yeah,
with
they
that
went too
McDonald's.
far. They went the wrong
Clearly,
way.
the
It's like, this is
owners
not how,
did not
yeah.
agree.
Yeah, Like, this is not how they should be treating someone who is a paying customer who has a legal vehicle. That's not the way. And of course, they backtracked like they should have. They're like, oh shit, we're going the wrong way. We're gonna be in trouble. And they backpacked it. Yeah, we're retraining all the employees. It's fine. It's like, okay.
Can I get in the writing?
I can't commit to that. Like, yeah, of course.
So I liked it. I thought it was good.
It's very good.
Hey, it's a good piece. I think, hey, it's really cool. Onyx, the picture is even better of Onyx and Cole. That's pretty neat. And you know what?
Yeah.
There's no poop on the ground.
That's true. There is no poop on the ground. If anything, there's like a stain there from like a car that had like an oil.
That's right.
Oil
That's right.
that's leaking.
That's right.
What I see.
So how come we don't have the people get out of their cars and clean the
exactly.
stains
They
up?
need to clean up the stains. Get out your car, put down the sand, clean it up. How dare you?
That's right, you bastards.
Yeah.
I know who you are. Oh,
That's
wait a
right.
minute. That's Gerald right there. Yep, that's Gerald's oil
Gerald,
spot right
your
there.
oil spot. Take care of your vehicle, Gerald. It's a fleet vehicle. What are you doing? You're required to take care of it. Come on, Gerald. What's your problem?
Yep. Jeez.
That's why you left, because you weren't good enough, because you didn't take care of your vehicle. You left the oil stains everywhere you went. There was an oil stain. We're like, oh man, Gerald was here. Gerald was freaking here. What the hell?
That's it. That's it.
And he didn't. And he didn't put paper in the receipt printer.
That's
And he let this horse. He let this horse shit in the ATM.
I didn't have a spare roll, guys. I'm sorry.
I didn't have a roll of toilet paper to clean up the horse shit. Sorry.
Oh God, dude, I'm sorry. I don't think I could get paid enough to clean horse shit up.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
I don't think I could.
No.
At all. I'm
mean,
sorry.
that's the only part that is like still unsolved. It's like, all right. I mean, where are they going to tell their people? Where are they going to tell their employees? Like, I guess at that point they're going to tell the owner to clean it up because again, the owner.
Yeah.
Owner should. I mean, you know.
I mean, yes, but you know, if the owner doesn't see it happen or is, just doesn't think about it or whatever and just moves on, now what? Now you got a stinking pile of horse crap in the drive-through.
Yeah, at that point.
Okay, and then
like,
the next car comes up. I mean, what's that car going to do? They're going to be like, I'm going to try to go in between. My tires will go in between it. No. Or some people are just going to stop the vehicle and be like, I can't go any further. Why not? Because there's a pile of horse shit over here, and I really don't want to run over it. My vehicle's too low. It's going to scrape it, and then I'm going to be carrying horse shit with me throughout the day.
I understand that concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right answer is. Hopefully the Yellowstone McDonald's does. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
They're the ones who said, "Hey, we're rethinking our policy." It's like, okay,
they might have a big shovel there.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a shovel just outside the drive-through, right there by the wall, that little wall area there.
Maybe they're using
there's a little hook. There's a little hook right there, and a small little bale of hay, and it says for poops.
Wonderful.
For horse poops.
Right next to the statue of Ronald McDonald. Now, Ronald McDonald's
Aww.
Ronald McDonald has
Why'd you have to bring Ronald into this? Come
on,
on, he's innocent.
It's on the bench that you sit down with Ronald. And it's like right on the left is Ronald McDonald, on the right is the poop shovel. What a wonderful picture.
That's it. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Ronald.
God. That's great.
All right. So that's what we got for this one, Jay. What do we got for our next article, my man?
Our next one, sir, comes to us from Long Island News 12, a local station in Long Island. Walgreens testing body-worn cameras for employees. The company said employees can choose whether or not to wear a camera during their shift. Last updated 6 days ago, March 4, 2026. Some Walgreens employees are now wearing body-worn cameras as part of a pilot program the company says is aimed at improving safety inside its stores. In a statement to News 12, a Walgreens spokesperson said Walgreens is piloting the voluntary use of body-worn cameras in select stores to help promote the safety of both customers and team members. Body cameras can help de-escalate conflicts, ultimately contributing to a safer environment for everyone. The company said employees can choose whether or not to wear a camera during their shift. The rollout comes amid broader concerns about surveillance and privacy in retail spaces. Earlier this week, the New York City Council held a hearing focused on the use of biometric technology by major retailers, including Wegmans and Macy's. Council member Shahana Hanif introduced legislation that would prohibit companies from using biometric data to identify customers. The proposal would also require businesses to clearly disclose how such data is collected and used and require written consent. When asked about privacy concerns, the Walgreens spokesperson said, "We understand the importance of protecting customer privacy and have safeguards in place to ensure compliance with all applicable laws and regulations." They did not provide any details on the safeguard or specifically how or when the footage could be used. The company has not released a list of the stores that are participating in the pilot program, but signs have been posted at selected locations to inform customers.
Okay, Pandora's box has been opened.
Sure has.
Oh my goodness! Seriously?
Sure has.
I mean, all right. So this is the part that I find interesting here. Body cameras can help de-escalate conflicts, ultimately contributing to a safer environment for everyone.
How?
You really think that an employee getting paid minimum wage is going to feel safer because they have a body camera on when somebody is trying to steal from them or rob them, for that matter?
A camera doesn't. I mean, a body camera is about as effective as the body cameras that police have. It doesn't. Really
Especially when you have especially when you have to have legislation put in place that will protect the consumers and the identity of people.
Yeah.
In this particular situation, for all we know, since it's in Long Island, because again, I don't know the rules and laws of Long Island, and I'm not trying to dig them or anything like that. But for all we know, the rules are going to be so daggone tight that guess what? Everybody's going to be, what do they call them? Blurred out, anyways. You know what I mean? So you won't be able to see anyone. And of course, anytime that you could have something built in the system that says as soon as you see a face on somebody, it has to be automatically blurred out. Well, guess what? If it's automatically done like that in the system, and then somebody does get robbed, and they've got this camera on themselves, it's about as good as the person themselves.
True. Yeah, it's unsure whether or not it's being done of the moment or if it's done after the fact. It's hard to say. We don't have that information. This is just straight up just saying that they're doing it, and it's voluntary. Not every worker has to use it. I mean, of course, there are going to be people who are like absolutely against wearing any sort of camera or like using anything to help monitor because there's privacy concerns. There is
now at the same time, you can feel safe by having this camera. It's possible. Someone could feel safe because I've got this camera on me. Therefore, I consider myself feeling a little bit safer because I now have this stuff recorded all around me. And should something happen to me or in front of me or whatever, I now have it on tape. Therefore, if there's a conflict or an incident, because let's face it, customers are going to be rude to employees and employees are going to be rude to customers.
True.
Okay, it's going to happen.
True.
It's unfortunate that it does. Both ways. It's unfortunate both ways,
Right.
Let's, try to be nice to everybody, but, come on. There are going to be times where people are going to get frustrated about whatever that situation is. And especially in a place like Walgreens, having come from retail pharmacy myself, I can tell you numerous stories of people that are extremely pissed off because they're not getting their medication. Okay, and they will literally cuss people out in front of anybody else that's there. I've seen it happen.
This is the thing that you have to ask is like I'm sure it's not I would think that this is not happening in the pharmacy area directly. This is probably just for the retail associates because you're in the pharmacy area now. You're possibly violating HIPAA practices with personal identifying information, maybe.
Some Walgreens employees are now wearing body cam. Okay, so some. Again, you're probably right. I would agree with you to that extent, sir.
Yeah.
I would. I don't think that body cameras are being worn out in the pharmacy just because of HIPAA rules that are in place. But again, that's also where these policies and procedures could come in place, even if it was the pharmacy cashier that had it and was grabbing prescriptions and had people's names and information on it. Again, this is all held within Walgreens systems.
Right.
They can therefore, it's therefore covered under HIPAA laws and the protection of the.
We're assuming this could also be like we don't know if this is like. I mean, I highly doubt this is Walgreens themselves is doing this. They probably have a company they partner up with, just like several companies partner up with Motive for like fleet camera systems. There's probably is another camera. So there's got to be something in their specific policies for whatever company, because they probably do it for multiple companies.
I'm sure
not
that
just
there's
Walgreens.
rules and regulations that
Yeah.
are in place to ensure that all of the privacy information that's
Right.
given out is remained private to oblige with all of the state and local laws. I would not be surprised. Okay, and if any of that kind of stuff was to leak out unnecessarily, then yeah, heads are going to freaking roll and fines will be given. That's really all that it is. You know,
I think
that's how it's going to.
I think it's an interesting design. If this image is to be believed here, or was the actual whole video? I mean, we can go through the video, but if you look at it, it's like it's the camera. It's like it's got a little screen that faces out, so that people know they're being recorded. And it looks like it's got a little red LED on there, so they know it's doing too. But it's on a lanyard. It's like it's not going to be the most steady photo, or video. So it's like that's an interesting choice. I mean, I don't know exactly how else you would put it on you. I mean, you could have I don't know.
Dude gets knocked out. Guess what? That camera ain't gonna help squat.
Exactly.
Okay.
But that's the other thing too. Like, you know, if you're wearing that camera and like you're actually like, you know, scanning stuff across, like you're probably moving around, you're picking things up. Like your camera's like swaying probably a little bit.
Right.
How useful is it really going to be? Unless you're standing there like straight up just talking to somebody and not doing anything else. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think that I would feel better about having, you know, in this particular case, better about having a camera to have something to back me up in case something does happen. But is the camera going to make me feel safe?
Right.
No.
But
the camera's not going to do anything for you in the moment. That's the thing to do something for you after
it's going to take. Exactly. It's going to take care of your situation afterwards, or could assist.
Right.
Not
assist.
take care of. Could assist.
No, could assist. Help you identifying.
Again, being on the lanyard like it is. If somebody gets knocked out or pushed over or whatever, that camera. Next thing you know, that camera is just going to be fumbling around, or it could be damaged at some point.
Right.
You know, because let's face it. You know, nothing is. Well, I mean, most things aren't bulletproof, but. Not to say that that's what the answer is. I'm just saying, you know.
And, you know, to be fair, like this is just like a pilot program, and they're just testing these out. Maybe they have other cameras they're thinking about putting, but they're like, well, let's just try these for now. I mean, who's to say that this is necessarily going to be the camera? Who's going to say that the system's going to stick at all? I mean, it's early days. It's only in Long Island as far as we know. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, it could stick, could not stick. I mean, Motive, you know, who's done it for like fleet systems, they're still a thing. There are many companies. So I mean, I don't know. Do I agree with this? I think it's up to the retail associate. If they want to use it, more power to them.
I am glad that they say that the body cameras are voluntary.
Voluntary, yeah, that's very good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I would or would not have one of those on.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it does or does not put a target on you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if you have a camera, then obviously, like, I feel like there's that, like, that psychological element where it's like, oh, well, you think something's going to happen. Well, I'm going to make something happen because you have a camera.
Right. It's almost like, and
like
this is probably a bad analogy here, but I've always thought, and again, this is just my opinion of things, but I've always thought that people that open carry are in some ways asking for trouble.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And you know, and I'm not saying that they are asking for trouble, because
it's the perception.
It's the perception. You know, when I see somebody with a gun, I'm like, oh shit, that guy's ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that guy's packed. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's clearly ready, and that's fine. The law states you can open carry.
Yeah.
Open carry away. Okay. There's nothing wrong with open carry.
No.
I support open carry. I think it is perfectly fine.
Right.
But at the same time, if I see a person that's open carry, there's someone that I don't even want to genuinely try to have a conversation with, in all fairness.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to have that into the mix of whatever conversation that could come up. That's just
for someone to feel like they have to open carry, I mean, again, it's your right, but I mean, I feel like also, like, if you feel the need to open carry, then obviously you feel the need, like you need to be ready at all times, and you can use that weapon at all times. Like, I don't want to be around that person when they use the weapon. I mean, maybe I'll be happy if they use it, it, and I'm in a situation where I need help, but, like, I don't want to be involved in all that chaos.
Yeah, at that same time, it's also a good thing to have that there. At the same time, having someone out there, in some ways, they are basically saying, you know what, I am armed and here, so if someone else wants to do something, guess what? they're going to have to deal with me.
Right.
Or it could very well be, yeah, I'm open carry, but as soon as somebody points a gun at the guy's face,
Right.
he's like, I'm on the ground.
That's right.
Okay, it can happen.
It
Okay,
can happen.
all sorts of scenarios.
But then in this case,
Hopefully.
like, we're just talking about a camera.
In this case, we're talking about a camera.
And
yes.
it's like it doesn't do anything for you in the moment. It's for after something happens.
It is. Yep.
I mean,
Honestly,
straight up.
I think the camera is the best way I could describe the camera is it's all that's there for is to keep honest people honest.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah. In the same way that gun control laws only apply to people who are actually going to listen to the laws, I mean, people are going to listen to cameras, or people who are already going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to do anything, especially now. It's like someone who's already up to doing something that's no good, that's criminal activity, a camera's not going to stop them. They're still going to do it.
100%.
Straight up. The criminal mind doesn't care about a camera.
Yeah, totally agree. Again, they could be taken right in front of you. I've had that happen too. I worked as an assistant manager where I'd literally walk down the aisle and dudes just emptying the shelf right into a basket and then starts to walk out the door. And I'm just like, what the? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, do I do something? Do I not do something?
Yeah.
I was dumbfounded. I really was. That was the first time anybody had ever been so bold to just literally just clear out a shelf right in front of me and just start walking out the door. And I was just like, okay. And I said something to the manager afterwards because I was like, dude just came and wiped us out. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, what happened? I explained it to him, and he was like, and you just let that happen? I was like, yeah.
Well, it happened, yeah, because it's not my job to stop this person. What are you talking about?
But it was after that I had my incident where I literally did try to stop someone. And as I told you, I walked out. I literally saw him doing stuff. Not the same dude, but somebody else taking some stuff. And I walked up to him and I said, you caught me on a good day because I'm in a bad mood.
Which is great that you were able to do that, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, the stuff is insured.
That was stupid.
The stuff is insured. It's not my stuff. I don't care. At that
I
point,
was
just
a lot
take
younger back then, and
Yeah.
that was just completely stupid.
Yeah.
It really was.
We don't
And I had
recommend
several
anyone
people
do
tell
that.
me it was stupid.
People don't do that. Don't.
Yeah.
Just, at that point, that's why let the system do what it's got to do. Your job is there to ring up people, and then if it happens, report it. But don't chase them down.
I see advantages and disadvantages of having this camera system here. I want to know what's the difference between the security cameras versus having a body camera. You already have the security cameras sitting out there. They're already covering the major sections of the store to a point.
I would just say
what's the purpose of a body camera?
I would say the only difference with a body camera is that you can get a shot of the face, a clear shot.
Yeah,
maybe. If they're right in front of you, if it's happening at the register, you'll probably see them right there, or at least you'll get, provided that they don't have a
cameras
under
nowadays
face, hoodie,
are
whatever.
Cameras nowadays
well,
can be very accurate.
You say that, but there are a lot of places that don't have good cameras. Walmart has crappy ass cameras.
Yes, they
I've
do.
seen the footage.
No, they don't.
I've been in the AP office, and they have really crappy ass cameras.
I've seen the good cameras in their AP office too.
Yeah,
I've seen the ones where they
can
pretty much zoom in.
Yeah.
I've seen the ones where they can zoom in and pretty much tell which apps you have on your desktop of your phone. Okay, on the main screen.
But that's a slow process. That's not something that happens real quick. I think if you have something like this, that's probably what the benefit is. You can instantly get these nice cameras out there. You don't have to put a whole infrastructure in place.
We'll just have to wait and see what the camera footage looks like when it's done.
Yeah, if we ever get it. I mean, who's say that Walgreens ever releases any of this stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Again, this is still just a trial phase. You know, it's just a. In its infancy, we'll have to see what happens with this later on. I can't say if I like it or if I don't like it. I do see the advantages and the disadvantages.
I think it's nice for them to have it as an option.
If you were an employee at Walgreens, sir, at this point in time, would you take the body camera?
I think I would.
You think you would? Okay.
I think I would.
That's fine.
Just because, again, I don't think it's going to do anything for me in of the moment. And yes, it might put a little bit of a target on me because I have the camera, but I like having that extra sense of peace of mind in case if something does happen, God forbid, hopefully I'll have a backup in a video format that's like, all right, here's what happened.
Right.
That's my thinking. Is it going to protect me? No, but it's going to help save me from being held liable for something.
Sure, especially if you're an honest person.
Yeah. If the camera's aimed the right way, if it's not flipped around because it's on a lanyard, I mean, there's a lot of ifs. If I'm not knocked down to the ground, God forbid.
Right.
That's a whole bunch of ifs. But
yep.
I applaud, I guess, Walgreens for doing something to enable their associates to do something. I guess I don't know. It's hard to say with this one. I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. This is a hard one. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It is a difficult one. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah. Would you, now throw it back at you, would you use it?
I would let you wear that camera, sir. I wouldn't have any problems watching you wear that camera and laugh at you the whole time. I would, more than, let's see here. At first, I probably would not want to wear the camera, okay? Unless it is something, now, if the manager encourages me, and I'm using air quotes for that, if I'm encouraged to use the camera, then maybe I would go ahead and use it. But if it just mysteriously stops working, not my problem. So sorry.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, because right now it's kept as voluntary. I mean, as far as we know. But if they start forcing it on people, that's a problem.
Yes, sir. So,
absolutely.
All right, man. Great topic. I love it. Another good episode as well. I do say so. If I do say so myself.
I agree with you. And that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. And as always, my name is Shay.
And I'm Mitch.
Love, peace, respect. We'll catch y'all again right here on the next episode of Lumpia and Latkes.
Bye for now.
If you should or would like to contact us, please find us at our Facebook page, Lumpia and Latkes. We will be glad to hear from you.